Right. Okay, so we're recording now. Welcome, Sam.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, we're recording now. Thanks Astu for joining and everyone else on this cloud and cybersecurity career Q&A. So the first question was, do you need certification? Samuel, please correct me if I'm wrong. The first question is, do you need a certificate to get a job? Or what was the other thing you mentioned, Samuel? Is Samuel still there?
Hello.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, my question was, do you need professional certificate to get a job in cybersecurity, or it's just all about what you know how to do?
Yeah. So my answer to that is both, right? It depends this way. If you don't have experience, right? If you don't have experience in cybersecurity, try to get a certification. Okay? Try to get a certification. If you have experience, right, that helps a lot. Right? Now, a combination of both will make you even stand out more. So two things. I don't have experience in cybersecurity. I want to learn cybersecurity and get into cybersecurity. Your goal should be to start working towards a certification. Okay? The goal should be to start working towards a certification. Okay? And if you already have experience, right? If you already have experience and you're struggling to get a job, then it is highly recommended also that you get a certification as well. So to answer your question, Samuel, again, not to repeat myself too many times, because I know I do this sometimes, is again, no experience. I want to learn cybersecurity. Go for maybe the Security Plus, right? Very popular. You will learn a lot of cybersecurity concepts in Security Plus. So write that down if you're not already familiar with that certification. Start with that, okay, and pursue that certification. But what you can do is, at some point while you're studying for that certification, but let's say maybe you bought a course on Udemy or somewhere online, and you're done with that course, right? Now you know the basics. You have good solid foundation in cybersecurity. You don't have to wait to get your certification. Okay, you don't have to wait to get your certification to start applying to jobs. Start applying from there. All right. You know basic things like the CIA triad, right? You know what encryption is, so whatever you've learned from that course you've taken, you have good solid foundation in cybersecurity. Start applying, and in your resume you can put something like Security Plus in progress. Okay, people do this all the time. Okay, Security Plus in progress. That's totally fine. What else? If you have, sorry, I'm just moving my camera around here to give it a nice spot. Might just have to end up using the camera on my, yeah, so that's that, Samuel. I hope that helps. If you have experience, that's great. The chances are higher with experience and certification. Without experience, I highly recommend going for a cert. So that's that. I hope that helps. Next question. Yeah, sorry, who was that? I heard a mic just now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sammy has a question here in the chat. Again, try to unmute your mic and talk, but at some point I'll be looking at the chat. I just want to let you know that I'm not 100% looking at the chat. I'm focusing on us having a conversation, right? I see the chat in front of me, but I prefer a conversation style. But that's okay. Let's read this from Sammy. I am a certified Azure. Wow, okay. Multi-cloud, I see. So by this, you're saying you have Azure, Oracle, and AWS Cloud Solutions Architect certification. I have some experience on Azure, on SA. Wow, okay. Can I apply for cloud security services at AWS with little and security knowledge from Security Plus? Having work experience on security. Sammy, to answer your question, yes, you can actually do that. Okay, you can do that. I mean, from what I'm reading about your experience here, Sammy, yeah, go for it. Right. But you need to put those on your resume, right? I would say maybe put in a section of call it technical proficiencies, right? And say security plus training, but don't say security plus certified. Say training in security plus CEH AWS, right? Because that will make the recruiters or hiring managers see that you have some background in security, right? You've taken some training that are related to security plus certified ethical hacker. For those of you looking at the chat and wondering what CEH is, that's certified ethical hacker. And AWS security specialty. So it sounds like you're not certified in those yet, but you've taken trainings in those. So yes, apply to security SA roles. Might be difficult to get in without you actually having those certifications, but you never know. Some hiring managers will give you a chance, right? Most of these big companies, by the way, they give you months, right, to ramp up, right? They won't just hire you and put you in front of their customers or their partners, okay? So you have some time to ramp up, learn from your teammates, right? But I think the key thing is just sell yourself on your resume, right? List in this case, right? You can go on YouTube, right? Or you can get you already have a course. I'm guessing from your training in AWS security specialty. So guard duty, inspector, make sure you're able to speak to those in an interview. If you're offered a chance for an interview, be able to speak to those security services on AWS, right? So that should be the goal, right? Look at as much YouTube videos as you can. Buy, maybe another course, right? Just to make sure you have solid, foundation in those security services on AWS. I think you have a shot at it. Okay. Someone has to give you a chance, right, to get experience, right? Someone has to give you that chance first. Okay. So, yeah, that's my recommendation. What you have, I think you should be able to, it should be fine. Should be fine. All right. What is the next question? That was insightful. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Any other question? How many people do I have here? We have 16 people on the call. 16 people. So you're here because you have a question or you just want to listen in? Yes. Who's that? Is that Idris? Idris? Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Akiolu Peters. Go ahead. Unmute and ask a question.
Good evening from Nigeria.
Oh, good evening from my home country. Are you in Lagos?
Yeah, Lagos.
Nice. I'm from Nigeria too. Yeah. I lived in Lagos before coming here. Yeah. Nice. Okay, what's your question?
Yeah, I want to ask, once you were interviewed by Amazon and you were not selected, how many months do you have to wait to reapply? Because I'm sure they would have kept it maybe in their S3 bucket and do the life cycle. So I know they will have the records that you were not selected, so you can't enroll for such anytime soon. So I want to know how soon.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. So great question. The last time I was aware of that was actually when I was also interviewing, and thank you for bringing that question up because it reminds me of something. Please, everybody, as you know, yes, I work at Amazon, but please, this is everything I say here are my own views and opinions and ideas. Okay, nothing here is related to my job at Amazon. Please just take note of that disclaimer. Now to go back to your question, I believe, and you can, and please know that you can always email your whichever recruiter contacted you. From there, you have their email, right? They sent you an email, and you were back and forth during the interview. They did not work out. You can always ask them that question as well, right? But I believe it is 6 months. Okay, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe around 6 months. I mean, when I was first interviewing at Amazon, I believe if I remember correctly, that was what a recruiter told me. I was called before 6 months, and I was told something like that. If anyone here is very familiar, please feel free to add in. Okay. This is discussion. If you maybe someone here also on this call might be working at Amazon or something like that, and you know this, please go ahead and confirm as well. With that said, so Mr. and Mrs. Akiolu Peters, I believe around 6 months. Okay, some of the companies I think it's 1 year. Okay, but I believe at Amazon I think it's in 6 months. Yeah, but again, I'm not 100% sure. But I know there is some time before, you know, you can be considered again. All right. Silvita, I'm currently studying cybercrime specialist. Okay, that's like a specific area. Is it a waste of time to those kind of certificate, or should I focus on doing the CISSP? Every field in cybersecurity, I think, there's always great potential, right? For awesome job opportunities, in terms of career growth and pay. Cybercrime specialist, I don't know too much about that specific focus area, but let me touch on the CISSP, right? Focusing on the CISSP, there's no doubt, and I mentioned this in the last session as well. Focusing on cybersecurity on CISSP, I believe it definitely makes you stand out. Okay, big time. Okay, that was my strategy to getting into the field. Okay, I graduated from the university with computer networks and security. All right, Bachelor of Science in computer networks and security. It was tough getting a job in cybersecurity, right? Until after I got my CISSP. Okay, after the CISSP, I'll apply to like 5 to 7 jobs, and I'll get calls from like 3. Right? So the chances was like, and that was with not saying that I was certified in CISSP. That was because you cannot say that on your resume. You cannot claim that anywhere unless you're fully certified. For those of you that know about CISSP, if you've passed the exam, that's great. You are an associate. Okay, you get an associate status until you can prove that you already have 5 years of experience in cybersecurity, and then you apply for endorsement, and then they'll ask you a bunch of questions about your experience, and then they will fully certify you. Okay, once you pass the CISSP exam, they give you 6 years to go look for a job. Okay, they give you 6 years to go look for a job, and gain 5 years of experience. If you didn't know that, just wanted to make sure that you're aware of that. So just by saying that I passed the exam, I was still getting calls. Okay, so Silvita, that cybercrime specialist, your area you're going, I believe that's a lucrative area as well. If you enjoy what you're learning in that specific area of cybersecurity, continue with it. Again, with all of this, just make sure you enjoy what you're doing. All right, it's not something you are, you just want to do it just for the money. Okay, I wouldn't recommend going into any profession just for the money. Okay, something that you have some type of, passion for. Okay, you enjoy doing it. For example, if you're in IT, in general, you love to learn and grow, right? It's not a field where you just come, you know what you're doing, and that's it. No, you have to continuously want to learn. Okay, get books, learn more, dive deep in the area that you're in, and the opportunities will come. No doubt about it. Just got to be patient and make sure your resume is solid. So Silvita, my answer to you is, if you enjoy cybercrime specialist, continue with that. If you want to go switch and do the CISSP, there's very high potential in the CISSP, but CISSP is some work. Okay, you mentioned focus. You need focus. You need what else? You need dedication. You need patience. You need perseverance. But the CISSP pays off. It pays off. And after I got my CISSP, my first cybersecurity job was at Deloitte. I know many of you already know that about me, but yeah, that's that. I hope that helps, Silvita.
It does, but I have just one other question about that. You said that in CSSP,
yeah.
If, for instance, regarding my current studies, so do I need that certification for CSSP, or is better, or I can just with the program, and after I will graduate, I can always get that certification later on.
Yeah, great question. So if I understand correctly, you're saying now if it's possible for you to start learning the CISSP now as you're also doing that program, is that what you?
Yeah. I'm currently actually I want to find out what would be the best way in terms of guidance.
Yeah.
If I should also study to get that certification CISSP, or and with, because with my current program, after I graduate, I could find, I don't say easily, but it would be okay for me to find a job in that field, or it's either way. In cybersecurity, it's always better to have that certification. So I just want to find out what if I have to study both, or I can actually always do my program for now, and if needed, I will just gonna get the CISSP certification.
Yeah. So great question. If you can do it both at the same time, then yes. Is this a degree program that you're doing, or just some type of boot camp?
It's a certificate, actually.
Okay.
From a university.
From a university, certificate from a university. So Silvita, to be honest, I think you can do both, right? If it's just a certificate program that you're doing in a university, my main advice here would be, if you can do both, yes, because coming out with that certificate and also having your CISSP, I mean, that will make you stand out a lot, right? If you want to wait after the certificate, then that means you just have to wait longer, right? There is potential that you get a job right after you get that certificate, right? But the bonus here is with the CISSP, that kind of like speeds up that job waiting period, right? So if you can say maybe 2 hours a day, right, and be able to do 2 hours of study a day for the CISSP, I think you get good progress. Okay, how long do you have left before you complete that certificate program, Silvita?
I will graduate in August 2022, so it won't be too long. Okay,
so you've made great progress. I know people that have passed the CISSP within 3 months, but to be honest, these people, from looking at their background, they have some experience already in cybersecurity. And but for you, I would say at least 6 months plus. All right. So, but again, it depends on individual dedication, determination. I don't know. Maybe you can do 4 hours a day. But to summarize, if you're able to handle both at the same time, do it. Okay. Do it. It's not like it's a full degree program. So that's why I'm thinking here. There is some possibility for you to be able to do CISSP and that program at the same time. All right. For me, I'm able to, work on 2 things at the same time. Sometimes I work on 3 things at the same time. Okay. I just make sure I dedicate time. There are dedicated times for each. Right. Don't just have a set schedule. Right. And yes, you can definitely do CISSP in that program together. So I'm guessing now you are going to be working. Are you working, or you're just doing the certificate full time now currently?
No, I'm working, and I'm studying at the same time.
Yeah. So that might be a little tough for you, but again, it depends on the individual. If you can do it, Silvita, do it, because by the time you finish that certificate and you have maybe a month or 2 left to just maybe finish on some practice questions on CISSP. You're done with that. A few months or a few weeks after that, you take the CISSP and you pass, and you're applying to bigger roles. right? So just think about what you can do, right? Think about you and how much time you can put to studying, even if it's 1 hour. Do it, because I would, again, my main recommendation here is do it. Right? Even if it's 1 hour you can put in to start studying for the CISSP, do it, because it'll really help a lot. Yeah, start now. Start now.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. All right. Let's see in the chat. I would also like to ask you to know anything about getting a foreign remote job from Nigeria as solutions architect for class security roles. And that's from Miss Akulu again. So, that's a tough one. I'm here in the US, and I know for most jobs that I see, they're usually looking for someone here already in the US. Some jobs are available online that will sponsor visas, but you don't see those a lot. What I would recommend you do is, if you have your resume ready, right, you have the skills. There are websites dedicated to remote jobs only, but my number one place for looking for a job is LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn, you're on this call. Why are you not on LinkedIn? Okay, why are you not on LinkedIn? That should be your number one place to look for jobs. Okay. There's an option for remote jobs only. And then that would be a conversation between you and the hiring manager, right? The policy of the company might be you can only work for them if you're within maybe Europe and America, right, and not Africa. But I know a couple of people that are working for companies in South Africa, in other global companies that are in Nigeria that are working remote. So yes, to answer your simple answer to your question, yes. It might just be a little harder to get a remote job from Nigeria, but is it possible? Absolutely. Just keep applying every day. Keep applying every day. Apply to 10, 20 jobs if you can every day. But make sure you set the filter on the job search to remote only or both. All right. Yeah, remote only in your case. Remote only. All right. What else do I have here? Any other question? Need to go my technical journey. This is the sorry, Miss. Is that Mrs. Sakulu? I used to have a public number available before. Some people might already have that, but I don't put that online again on my website at yescertified.com. And that's just my side thing that I do when I get a chance. Sometimes I teach weekend classes, using that website as well. Some of you here are already familiar with that website. I used to have my number there, but I removed it. There's an email there, but I don't recommend, trying to reach me through email. Maybe LinkedIn messaging. I try as much as possible to answer LinkedIn messages. But that's why I created this, right? To talk about what I'm doing, as well, my own projects. You can come here and ask me your questions. Yeah, but sorry, I don't have a public number. It started to become a lot, right? Answering text messages, back and forth, and LinkedIn and all that. So here's the chance. 45 minutes. Come here, ask your questions. Let others benefit from your question. I'm trying to do this every Sunday, okay? And so far I'm enjoying it. I'm glad to answer your questions. If there are no questions, I have a few points I want to go through, but let me see. Walaikum salam.
Brother Mukhtar, will you have the session again for the hands-on lab?
For the hands-on lab, great question. So with those, I'm putting a pause on those because I'm working on an on-demand cybersecurity course. Okay? And that's taking a lot of time. As some of you know, some of you that have seen my YouTube videos, I have a passion for teaching. All right. Hopefully in the future I can have my own school. Right, but I'm trying to work on a small project right now to see how that goes. So to answer your question, short answer, my YouTube videos that I used to do, the 1 hour hands-on section, hopefully maybe I can do that on a smaller scale in the future. But for now, I'm working on like videos to you know, at some point host on my own platform to teach. Just FYI, that's not going to be free. Okay, it's just a project that's taking you know, most of my weekends now, and I cannot do that 1 hour. But for now though, like the free YouTube videos I have, I'm still getting success stories on those. Okay, they're still relevant. The screen might have changed on AWS a little bit, right? But if you follow along, you can figure it out, right? The UI has changed since I recorded those videos. But if you haven't already, you know, read my AWS article first. Let me actually paste it. The goal here was to paste it in the chat here for everyone every week. So let me put a link to my AWS article. Okay, so everyone on the chat, save that in a safe place. Print it out if you can. There's a video there of success stories from individuals who have used that article. It has links to everything about me, literally everything about me. You know, print it out, follow it step by step, and hopefully you would be one of those success stories as well. But you know, watch out for an announcement from me. Okay, I am working on demand videos, but again, those are not going to be free. But those are supposed to teach you hands-on skills in cloud computing and cybersecurity. Make sure you're part of my Telegram channel. That channel is almost hitting 10,000 subscribers now. I guess that's some great news. Now at 9.5k subscribers. Join that channel to get up to the minute updates from me. Okay, if you're in cybersecurity or cloud computing, I highly recommend you join that Telegram channel. Where's the link to that Telegram channel? It's in that article right there. Whoa. Wait, I didn't post that link. I think I direct messaged someone with that link. So I'm gonna paste again in the chat. So look at the chat. You should all be able to see it now. That is the link to the article.
Who are not on the chat?
Sorry?
How about those who are not on the chat?
Those who are not on the chat. Wow. Those who are not on the chat, then go, if you go to my my website, yescertified.com, it's there also on the homepage. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Any other someone last week, this reminds me, very good. I'm looking at my notes now. Someone last week, I don't know if you're on this call, not last because I wasn't able to make it last week. Someone last week asked me about GRC, right? Like those looking to go into the compliance area. This is the link to the guy I talked about. Okay. In that link, there's this guy. I forgot, Doctor something is his name. He has a course now out there, and he has a coupon for $0. Right, from $49 up to it to $0. He has not paid me anything to talk about this, but this is like the first course I'm seeing that's actually really focusing on GRC and teaching you some hands-on skills with that as well. So everybody, if you're on the chat, if you're able to see the chat, even if you're on your phone, you should be able to see the chat. That's the link to the video that explains about that course that he has out. He has a $0 coupon for that course as well. So take a look at that if you're interested in the compliance area. That's my recommendation. That's my recommendation. The floor is open again. If you want to unmute and ask your questions, how many minutes do I have left? So I actually have to end this at 2:45. So unmute and ask your question. Sorry, no. Okay, here's the thing. Sorry, I sometimes I don't see those hand raising. Just unmute and ask a question, okay? Yeah, you don't have to use the hand raising thing. But thanks for letting me know, though. Go ahead, Collins.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I want to thank you for all this you've been doing because I've been following you a lot and listening to sending you personal messages. So
thank you.
The questions being asked here are very, very important to us that are coming into cybersecurity and for some of the things. So I want to share some things before I ask my question because at times we learn and inspire others by our own stories.
Yes.
So I want to share something. I'm a Nigerian, Canadian as well.
Okay.
I transitioned from being an accountant. I worked for several years in Nigeria.
Okay, hold on. Everybody, pay attention. He came from being an accountant. Okay, so this is gonna be beautiful. Well, go ahead. Sorry, I just had to make everyone pay attention to that.
So I worked for almost 20 years in oil and gas in Nigeria, and then accountant. During my period in Nigeria, I traveled a lot to work outside Nigeria as well, my country. But when I moved to Canada, I discovered that I have passion to go to college. So, like, I just want to portray the question someone asked about certification or experience or training or going back to school. Actually, what I did was I had to go back to school to start with. I started in Canada because I knew I wasn't technical technology person. And I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's something wrong with your audio, Collins. I don't know if you're out in the open. Yeah, I think, is it just me? Yeah, there's something with your audio. Yeah, your audio is not very clear. It's like the wind is like blowing through the mic, something like that.
Yeah, so the thing is, I put this down for today and I forgot because when the buzzer was me, I'm actually outside.
Oh, okay.
But I needed to follow this, that's why.
Okay. All right, go ahead. I think we can manage. We can manage. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I started from the scratch going to a college to get my associate degree in Canada. And during that period when I graduated after 2 years, I was working full time as well as going to school full time. So you can know what it means. And then immediately I graduated, I did my Security Plus and QIC and I got those ones. And,
Nice.
I now moved to the US in Houston to do my master's in cybersecurity.
Wow.
I'm speaking to you now. I'm graduating in May with my master's in cybersecurity.
Nice.
This May. Yeah, but the story I want to share is when you know what you mean and you follow most of these things like Kabir is doing here, because that was what helped me going to me following a lot of people on LinkedIn, the experts in the industry. I follow them. So that's why you get all this. Now, back in November last year, I got 4 jobs, all from LinkedIn contact.
Wow.
They got to me 4, and 4 of them are all with global multinationals that everyone knows, with zero experience in cybersecurity. I've never worked in cybersecurity.
Nice.
But I got those 4 offers, very lucrative 4 offers here in the United States, and that started with Flash, and here to graduate.
Wow.
So that comes to the question someone asked, can I do CISP? What certifications are going to help you? They are going to help you, inclusive with what you learn, because most of the things you learn in class are just conceptual.
Yes.
Every other thing that you learn from Udemy, from LinkedIn, from following people like Kabir, that devote their time to teach you hands-on on this, will help you in interview. Because when I go for interview, people actually ask me, the hiring manager actually ask me, are you sure you've been accounting for 12 years? Are you sure you've been doing this a long time?
Yeah.
Because of the confidence I have,
Yeah.
and I read a lot.
Right.
I read a lot. If
Nice.
you don't read a lot, you don't play around with tools to get people that know, you will always be behind. And most of the answers you give in interview are not from some of the questions by listening to people like Kabir here that you can be able to leverage on that and answer those questions perfectly well.
Thank
If you
you.
don't start reading or test course to know about cybersecurity blogs, then you would know. Most of the questions they ask me, some of them are like, what was the last security breach that you know? And when I did SolarWind attack, I did log J4, they ask, how do you know? Because I read a report. I read everything. I dissect it. And I come and give the same story that I read, and then I give my own idea. But this is someone that came from accounting.
Wow.
So I'm preparing for my solution architect exam now, because one of the companies I want to work with, that I'm starting off the consulting, one of the big four, and I want to get my hands on cloud so that in case I have a client that is cloud, I should be able to know what I'm doing. So that goes to my question, Kabir. You came from consulting. How easy was it for you to navigate around consulting before you moved to something else?
So from consulting to, I think what made me because the hiring manager, first and foremost, thanks for sharing your story. I mean that's fantastic, and thanks thanks again for sharing that. For me here, I'm just doing my best to share as much as I can, mentor people, and I'm glad people like yourself and others are benefiting from it. So with that said, from consulting to, I think what made me stand out in that area was just AWS certifications, right? Because our hiring manager at AWS reached out to me, right, while I was at Deloitte, right? I got a LinkedIn messages, and you share, and this is why I said you all have to be on LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn, you have to be on LinkedIn. Okay, if you're looking for, if you're really serious about learning and looking for a job, LinkedIn is the place to platform to be on. So I got a message, and that's how I got into AWS. All right, that's how I moved out of consulting. I had like my solutions architect associate, and then my security specialty. Okay, so that was how I moved into AWS, and from AWS I started with premium support, and from premium support I got into the solutions architect role. So yeah, Colin, that's how I got in. Certifications was what helped me a lot there, to get in from consulting to this role that I'm in today. If that answers your question, does that?
Sure, perfectly, perfectly well. And I like the fact you mentioned mentorship, because a lot of people don't understand why they should look for mentors. I always say, when you're connecting with people on LinkedIn, go for quality, not quantity. Not how many people you add on LinkedIn, but the quality of people that you relate to.
Exactly.
Those are the guys that are going to come up to be your mentors. I have 3 mentors I source for myself on LinkedIn. I call them up, and most of them are in top tech companies too.
Wow.
I mentor them. Everybody says all the time. I follow them to ask questions, and they guide me because I'm coming to this field and I want to learn about it. So it's a good one. Look for a mentor, quality over quantity, you get things done.
Great advice. Great advice. Thanks, Colin, for sharing. And I know there are other professionals on here. Please don't just leave only me talking here. Again, this is discussion style. I know I don't have much time. It's 45 minutes. But please come up if you have something to share. Others are here to listen to you as well, not just me. Okay. But again, sorry, we've hit 2:45 p.m. now, US Eastern time, and I have to end this meeting. I hope this has been helpful. For those of you looking to get into cloud and cybersecurity, don't worry if you didn't get to ask your question today. The goal is to do this every Sundays, and then hopefully at some point we'll be able to get to you. But please feel free to ask me a question also on LinkedIn. Again, I do my best to answer as much as I can. I can't reach, I don't, I'm not able to answer everybody, but this is an opportunity to catch me live and ask you questions. With that said, well, to be honest, I can take one more. If there's one more, I can take one more, and we'll call it a day. And I'll see you all next Sunday. Is there any one more question? Any one more question? All right. If there are no questions,
Yes, sorry.
is that Silvita?
Yeah, it's me again.
Okay, go ahead.
I already actually wrote to you my question directly.
Okay.
But my question was more about the certification price, for the challenges, and for those who do not have any cybersecurity
Yeah, for some reason, Silvita, I think your audio is it's not very clear. I don't know if it's just me. Can someone else type in the chat if it's just me?
I think it was another person that the
mic was open. Okay, all right. Go ahead now.
All right. Yes, so like I was saying, my question was more related to the exam.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm located in Canada, so I don't know if the certification or the format is universal, but so what would you recommend in terms of what are the challenges with the exam, and what would you recommend and advise for those who do not have any perhaps knowledge or experiences, because this is perhaps a orientation. So what would you actually advise to that person so that she can pass the exam?
For the CISSP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So from my understanding, it is global, right? To answer that first, yes, it's from wherever you're taking it, the questions are going to be what they already have in their question bank. Okay, it won't be like because you're from this country or that country. If that's what you're asking, yeah, it's global. If it's English, it's going to be taken from the same pool for everyone. Okay. So my advice for you with the CISSP is patience. Okay. There's a Facebook group that I joined while I was studying. That Facebook group was very, very helpful. It's by a guy called Luke Ahmed, right? Luke space Ahmed. If you Google, yeah. And also I have an article on LinkedIn that I talked about passing the CISSP and the resources I used. If you look in my profile, you should find that article somewhere. That I wrote when I passed the CISSP. So there's a Facebook group. I forgot the name of the. I think it's called Study Notes and Theory, right? Study Notes. I'm putting it in the chat as well. Study Notes and Theory. Okay, so I highly recommend you look for that group. In that group, I learned that there was someone with like attempted the CISSP 6 times. Okay, and that exam costs $699. Okay, so again, patience, perseverance. Don't give up. If there's a topic you're reading about that's not clear, I say this all the time. For those of you that are new, I'm saying it again. Look for other resources, right? The fact that you're using one video course online doesn't mean that you stick to that only. No, buy multiple courses. I do that all the time. You see me having the CISSP, the CCSP, the AWS Solutions Architect Professional. I did not use one resource. Okay, I use multiple. People explain things differently, right? And the way the other person might explain might just make it click for you, right? That has been a big strategy of mine, to never rely on, okay, I've just gotten one course on Udemy and that's it. No, I'm going to look for articles. I'm going to type that topic in Google and see what articles and what Medium posts, for those of you that are familiar with Medium, see what Medium articles come up, right? And those should go a long way. Those should go a long way. If you don't have an IT, especially if you're coming from a non-IT background, okay, this is a highly recommended strategy. Okay, when you find some topics hard to understand, look for articles online, look for YouTube videos. Don't just rely on one course that you bought online. Buy another one, okay, on CISSP, right, or AWS, right, and at some point it should click. Don't give up on your first attempt of not understanding something. Sylvita, that's another advice, right? I'm watching this video now. This person is explaining this concept. It just sounds very confusing. Okay, trust me, it could be the way that person is explaining it. Okay, someone else will explain it in another way, and it'll click. Okay, so patience, keep on learning, keep on studying, get legitimate practice questions. Do not take these exams without buying legitimate practice questions. Do not buy exam dumps, please. Some people take these exams, they go online, they dump the question, they memorize some, and they're not allowed to do that. You sign an NDA when you take these certifications. In everything you do, always be truthful. Okay, you would be happier, right, and more successful if you're honest and you're truthful in everything you do, right? Don't look forward to cheating on exams. Buy legitimate practice questions. Those are very important. And in many of these certifications that I have, I know some of you are looking to get these certifications as well. Usually when I pass the certifications, I write articles on LinkedIn on how I passed them. So in my LinkedIn profile, you should be able to see articles in there that explain the resources that I used. Okay, but please make sure when I put textbooks in there, make sure you look for the current versions of the textbooks on Amazon, right? My version might be there might be a new edition, so please keep note of that. Sylvita, does that help? Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone. I hope to see you all again. Please tell your colleagues from work about what I'm doing. Tell them about my website. Okay. Again, for me personally, yes, I like working at companies 9 to 5, but in the future, hopefully I can have my own school. Okay, but I gotta start from somewhere. So tell your friends, your colleagues about these sessions if they're interested in cloud computing and cybersecurity. I cannot do one-on-one mentorship. I know many of you are aware of that now. I've gotten a lot of questions on doing that. I cannot do that. So it has to be as a group. So that's why here, bring your questions here, type it in the chat, and hopefully we'll get to your questions. And you can find very useful, answers here that will help accelerate your journey. Please take note of that article, my AWS article, for those of you that are looking to get started in cloud computing. That article. I already pasted it in the chat. I'm going to paste it one more time before I end this call. So let me share it with everyone again in the chat. Save that somewhere safe. Print it out if you have to. All the links about what I'm doing, my recommendations, they're in there. Okay, and at the bottom of the article, usually LinkedIn would tell you my other articles. It would give you links to my other articles. So within that article, if you go all the way to the bottom, I think you should be able to see a link to my other articles as well. With that said, thank you all, and I hope to see you all again next Sunday. I'm going to end the call now. Thank you. Just need you to help with one answer. Idris. Okay, Idris, quickly, Idris. Is Idris still here? If you want to reach me personally, LinkedIn messaging, but again, this is the best way to reach me personally. But try to message me on LinkedIn. Yeah, Idris, did you have a question? You said just need you to help answer one or two questions. Okay, let's try one.
No, I'm still listening. By God's speak, by God's grace.
Okay, by God's grace. Okay, yes. All right, sounds good. Thank you. All right, I'll catch you all next week. For the person that asked me, yeah, I think it's the same person. Yeah, message me on LinkedIn. Hopefully I can get you a message. But again, here is the best place. Thanks everyone. Enough talking from me. Thank you. Take care everyone.
Thank you very much.